Yo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to this edition of the Halcyon Livestream. My name is Lauren Risley, host of the show. How the hell are you doing? Thank you very much for joining me. It's good to be back talking about battle rap. I don't know if you noticed, I've only been tweeting about it all day, every day for the last 3 days because, yeah, I can't help it sometimes. But it's been a good week. There have been a lot of drops that I've been able to catch up with. There's a tremendous amount of news that's about to happen, that's about to pop off. I'll cover a lot of that on Friday because I've got another edition of UK Battle Rap, a weekly news roundup that I'll have ready to go, rolled out come Friday. But for now, instead of just news, I still want to indulge my fandom a little bit. So I thought we'd go through some of the stuff that's coming up and I thought I'd talk about it. And as we go, since I didn't get a chance to receive anything in terms of voice notes or anything like that, you can just chime in when you want to chime in. If you have anything in the comments, please feel free to pop it in there. Alternately, I will check my phone periodically. If there's a voice note you want to send me, albeit I will mute while I check the voice note to make sure it's not people just fucking rickrolling me. But what my idea for this was, and I might do this regularly, it depends on whether or not people actually want it, is I want to have a forum for the fans. I talk to the battlers a lot. What I don't do is I don't talk to the fans a lot. And the fans are the ones that pay the bills and keep us all in business, and your attention means the world to me, and it you know, I need it for my self-esteem. So I want to give back, and part of it is I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to be able to express yourselves, what you like, what you don't like, what you're excited about, what you're not excited about, what you think people aren't talking about that should be talking about, what they're talking about too much, grumble about some things, fan out about some things, throw ideas out, fancy book, anecdotes, whatever you want to talk about, really. I've thrown some ideas out because, again, there's a lot coming up that I think everyone's really excited about, and there's some stuff that I want to talk about because it's stuff that I've opined on. But here's the thing, I've got Twitter for that. I know y'all do too, but not everyone has a YouTube channel, and, you know, or let alone knows how to use it properly. And so I figured, well, if you guys have thoughts, I want to hear them. I don't care if I agree with them or not. I don't care if they're bad or not. One of the things that I see a lot on other streams is they'll talk about the props, but they're quite quick to discount a fan's opinion because they don't agree with it. I don't care if I don't care with your opinion. I want to hear it. So my thing going forward is, if I do another one of these, please by all means send me your voice notes so that I can play them on air so that people can physically hear from you if you want to do that. If you want it in confidence, by the way, if you want to just ping me in confidence, I don't have to read your name out if you don't want to. If you have an opinion on battle rap that you just want aired, that's fine too. We'll figure this out as we go. But for now, let me swap views because I came prepared today with assets of various descriptions. Ta-da! So there we go. Let's kick off with Plug because it's the big one and it's happening in Check's Notes a few days. Let's have a look at the card, shall we? So, starting from bottom to top. So, let's go... I forget which way around it is. Is that ascending or is that descending? I don't know. But anyways, Dojo versus Caveman. Caveman this year was notable for me because of his battle with P Soldier. And Dojo is a young man who I was introduced to as a result of my affiliation with Dub T. The first battle I ever saw Dub T in was against Dojo. And Dojo's kind of gone from strength to strength there. I seem to remember he had a battle on the Checkpoint 5 card with... I want to say it was Shawnee B. I think it was Shawnee B. And I seem to remember that battle being tremendously entertaining. So, and in no small part down to Dojo. In fact, I probably gave the win to Dojo in that one. Again, I had to watch it back though because it's been a few months. But nevertheless, a very talented young man versus another battler who I thought gave a pretty good account of himself against P Soldier. But unfortunately, I've not seen him in much either before or since. So... difficult one for me to call on that one, but I'm excited for it because I think Dojo really deserves to be on a card of this magnitude. I think he's put in a lot of work and I think he's incredibly talented. Moving on, we've got MK Southside versus LL Cool-G. Or I keep saying Cool-G, like Cool J. It's not, it's Cool-G. Don't know much about Cool-G or MK, to be honest with you. I'm interested to know as we go through the card, like, if anyone has any insight as to the booking strategy of this card, because here's the thing with it. I'll say it now because it just stood out to me. I don't really see themes or things that fed into a lot of this stuff, with the exception of the main and the co-main. but like I guess there's an international vibe with this, or a UK versus American vibe to this, I guess. But I don't know. And again, I will say this right off the top. I want to be careful about being overly negative because I know I have a reputation. But just saying, if you compare this card to Plug4 or Plug3, there seems to be a little bit of a lack of bite to this one. I can't quite put my finger on why, but there seems to be just that lack of maybe just an overarching crescendo to the year, as it were, because this is basically how Prem are looking to sign off the year, albeit Undisclosed 13 is another card we'll be talking about later. But nevertheless, I'm struggling to see the overarching theme of the card, or what it's building towards, or rather what it's trying to set up, because that's the thing. I'm fully accepting of the fact that maybe this card is designed to help build to other things, and I'm just not clear on why that is, and I'd love someone to perk up and say, hey, actually, what we're trying to do here, or what they're trying to do, or what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to incorporate more American battlers in order to make that a more regular occurrence, or to ingratiate themselves to the UK audience more, or make the Americans more comfortable with battling on the league. I know that Jazz the Rapper battled Bizzo Bond on a previous card. I forget exactly which card it was, but nevertheless, man, there's a couple of battlers I'm excited to see on this card. Like, dude, I'm a massive Frankie Fraser. I'm too excited. I've had a big cup of tea and now I've got another that I've got to get through. Frankie Fraser fan. I'm just a fan of his. Again, he's so, when you watch, again, if I watch him on a replay, I'm always really impressed by how much I catch after the fact, but then sad that I took 2 or 3 listens to catch a lot of what he said. Lazy as well is another one I'm excited to see, because again, I feel like he's been let down by backouts a lot. He when I saw him at Plug3, he had a lot of promise, and when he was supposed to be battling on Match Day 5 when I was there too, and sadly his opponent, I forget who was supposed to be battling, but the opponent fell through for one reason or another. And Black T as well. I like Black T. Again, when I interviewed him, one of the pleasant surprises there is so many of his battles that I actually really enjoyed. And in fact, he's linked into something else I want to talk about later. But he's kind of been everywhere. He's kind of been doing everything, albeit more recently has been quite. So it'd be cool to see him back. I think he's off Twitter now as well. So it's been hard to keep track of what he's been up to. But then moving up the card, you've got. Sorry, I should probably say you got Lazy versus Black T. Then you've got Maverick versus CJA. Don't know too much about either of those guys. Again, so difficult for me, although I believe CJA is American. So again, maybe that's the vibe of the card, is a UK versus American style thing. Make it give it a more international feel and vibe. Frankie Fraser versus Ellipsis. Don't know anything about Ellipsis, but big Frankie Fraser fan. So again, I'm excited for that purpose. Now, Eunice versus Slimbuck is interesting because... Let me see if I can switch seamlessly. I think I can. Hang on. No, I'm going to need to do that first. Nah, damn. We had a preview of this, of sorts. I've just read the flyer. So, Gaz Buff, the hardest working man in Battle Rap today. He is the fucking James Brown of UK Battle Rap, and it's not even close. Look at the state of this poster, people. When it shows up on YouTube. Look at it. Look at how pretty. It's so pretty. It's so good, in fact, that when I loaded this image up, I had to shrink it down by about 10 times because it's so fucking good. But anyways, as you can see, Team Slimbuck versus Team Eunice. Now, slight problem with this is that when I loaded the stream, or rather, it was on Twitter as a space, it was fine on my laptop, and then I was like, right, I want to listen to this as I go to the gym. I tried to transfer it to my phone, and it didn't work. So I missed... Except for the bit at the beginning, which Gas has probably edited out, where they're trying to get the stream going. Like, I need to invite people. People haven't turned up yet. Can you be co-host and all the rest of this sort of stuff? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, they're taking a few minutes anyway, so I'll listen to it as I go. And by the time I get to the gym and they start battling, I should be good and ready for it. Couldn't fucking listen to it. Messaged Gast, and I think I even tweeted him as well. This is being uploaded onto Trubs' channel either today or tomorrow. So I will be tuning into that then. But from what I understand, a lot of people had a lot of fun. So as you can see, it was an online spaces set of battles. You had 3 battles on the card, quote unquote. And I really wanted to talk about this as well because Gas Buff has been on a weird little tear recently of him being the best promoter in battle rap. Like, he doesn't have a promotion and he's the best promoter. As you can see, fucking absolutely magnificent work on the poster. I think he did a great job in hosting as well. His promos against Bobby Rex as well. I talked about it on the news because I just couldn't not talk about it. If you're a battle rap fan, or UK battle rap fan, or if you're just generally into stuff that's just ridiculous, you need to go and check out his promos against Bobby Rex. They are amazing. Like, Get Your Dad on the Phone, which is a game he made up, is amazing. It's so good that I don't care what card it's on. I need to see that now because I want to see Bobby Rex have his opportunity to stare at Gast, who will probably be dressed in the most audacious and fucking outlandish getup in the world and try and keep a straight face as he eviscerates Gast. And Gast is going to give a good account of himself. He always does. And I'm curious to see how Bobby handles it because, like, I feel like it's going to be like a bear playing with its food almost. But then we all thought that about Shotty and Shuff. So you never quite know. But in the interim, you've got the deliveries of Robbie Bex, which again was hilarious. But Get Your Dad on the Phone was one of the most amazing promos I've ever seen in battle rap. And then he follows it up with this. Now, again, I will be watching the full version of it once it's uploaded and polished and live, and I will give my thoughts on that as and when I can. But I wanted to showcase this because I think for battle rap fans, content is king. And I think I like being able to come in and tune in for half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour to something that isn't necessarily just chatter like this, actually. You know what I mean? I like being able to consume and digest some battle rap. And there's only so many drops. There is only so many clips from an event that promoters can post. So the battlers can start producing content of their own that hopefully helps feed and starts to get away from this perception that some fans have about some of the newcomers. Because it's, as I was perusing through some of the battles this week, let me think. It was Dub T versus Dazzy Talks. It was Kingsley Thunder versus Red Wolf. It was Kinel versus Unanimous. It was Zen versus Marv 1. It was... There's a few more. I'm just forgetting them off the top of my head. As you can tell, I've been on a bit of a battle rap kit this week. But in the comment section where the guys aren't from the previous eras, right? There's this perception that the new guys don't have personalities. And I don't get that. Because having interacted with them and watched them, that's objectively not true. I think, though, a lot of older fans aren't giving the new fans a chance. And I kind of want to understand from... Sorry, I've just realised my mic is peaking and I want to make sure that I'm not blowing out your fucking eardrums. I want to understand from older fans why. What is it about some of the newer guys that isn't resonating with you in the same way? Because they are, to me, like I say, I take the Dazzy Talks versus Dub T battle as an example. Obviously, I'm pretty good mates with Dub T. I thought Dub T gave a great performance irrespective of the fact that I'm mates with him, because I thought he did a good job in each of the rounds of doing a different job. That's something I would expect of a top tier battler. Someone that goes, right, I'm going to have this round be about this, middle round be about this, third round be about this. Not in terms of subject matter, but like in terms of the goal. Like, I'm going to be better at this than him in this round. Then you go to someone like Kingsley Thunder. Kingsley Thunder, I think, and I tweeted about this and I meant it, he has two really, really strong gears. He can go in really aggressively on a person and it be legitimate and feel like it has weight and credibility. But he also has that slightly irreverent O'Shea gear that I know he was inspired by. I think once he figures out how to shift between those two more seamlessly, he'll be a real problem for the scene. I'm trying to think. And again, Dojo. The reason why Dojo's on a big card like Plug5 is because he's put on the work. And again, I was there for his battle against Johnny B. I thought he was really, really good. And you can tell he's starting to adopt a bit of a persona now. The way he's dressing is a little different. The way he's presenting himself a little different. He's very professional in the way he presents himself as well. I think he's maybe incorporating a little bit of biz into that. So all of these new guys have just as much character. In fact, I would argue that their thing at the moment is just that exposure. There's not really any stories to these guys in the eyes or the minds of the fans. But that's not because there isn't the story. That's because they just haven't had that showcased about them yet. And the question I put this to a few of the guys is, okay, what can be done to address that? Because, and they kept on repeating this, and I do take this point, there is only so much promotions can do within the realm of battle rap. So I figure you look at things like what Shuff does with Sounds Like, or there was another example. Fuck, I'm gonna forget now. But like other types of content that can center around the concept of rhyme or guys being creative or witty and stuff like that, that gives them an opportunity to maybe build more of a relationship with the fandom outside of that 20 minutes that they get on camera when they're booked on a card. And the reason I'm going off on this tangent, by the way, is I think the Ethernet series that Gast is trying to get off the ground here is a brilliant idea. I absolutely adore it. I really hope he gets the opportunity to do as many of these as he can physically organize, and that with time he gets the repetitions to make it as polished as I know he wants it to be. So that's that. So we'll come. We won't come back to that. We will put that to one side for a second and come back to the plug. So where were we? So and again, sadly, haven't really seen any of battles versus these guys. So again, it's difficult for me to kind of opine. However, the first time on this card I can opine: Visual versus Bobby Rex. Now, I am very excited for this battle. Not only because Bobby Rex is battling, and I'm a big fan of Bobby Rex, Visual gets the opportunity to really add another layer to his calendar this year. I was there when he battled Villain, and I will tell you that in the room, Villain gave a very good account of himself, but I think it was pretty clear Viz won that one, and there were a couple of bars in that were utter insanity. Like, that is unbelievably good. And so you think, right, Viz has got something here. Viz is one of those guys that can really start to think about strapping the rocket to if he has a good account of himself against someone like a Bobby Rex, who is as talented, as visceral, as aggressive, as clever, as domineering in his stage presence as he is. If he can do it against a Bobby, he can do it against anybody. And it's a big one because, of course, they've rebranded the title as well. Not unlike a world title, intercontinental title type deal. Continental. I mean, technically, I suppose it's continental, I suppose. But it's cool. It means that there can be hopefully more of a stake structure in terms of who gets to battle for the title now. Because that does get a bit complicated now that Gem is the champ. Because, well, who's he battling for next? He's battling on another card that we'll talk about later. But then what? You know, can he battle across two promotions on a regular basis enough to keep the titles and make them mean something? Are they going to be utilizing him in much like a Brock Lesnar or a Roman Reigns type fashion, where it's like he's a special attraction whenever he does pop up? I don't know. Or what does that even for him? Like, what does the title mean at this point? Does that give him a shot at a shotty, or does it afford him the opportunity to battle overseas? Who knows? But I like the idea that with that all being what it is, right, because that's now a don't flop and Prem situation, Viz and Bobby Rex having a title on the line means that there is a title that can still be chased within Prem as a sort of number one contenders idea, someone that the brand can also put on the face of things, and have someone, and again, a younger guy, again, not being belittling to anybody, but someone who is fresh in the minds of the UK battle rap fan. So I love this matchup. I know some people aren't that excited about it for one reason or another. I don't really agree with them, though. I think it's a great... It really benefits both guys. If Bobby wins, he gets a title, which he's really deserved for a long time. If Viz wins, he gets a win over someone like Bobby Rex, who really then does make the claim like dudes, I'm as good as anybody else right now. I should be starting to think about challenging for this, and this. And that's great. That's fantastic. And we move on to the main event. And again, unfortunately, this is one I can opine very little on because Jazz the Rapper I've had some exposure to. First battle I saw Jazz the Rapper do was against Shuffle as a preview for that movie. What was it called? Fuck. I know it had Shotty Horror in it. And it was like a UK version of 8 Mile. God, there's 4 of you watching. One of you must know what it was called. What was it called? Fuck it. I gotta know now. Hang on. Bear with me, callers. UKBR movie. No, it wasn't Brits. Versus. There you go. Beat you all to it. Versus. There you go. It was a preview to the movie Versus. And I thought Jazz was good, but Shuffle was just... Gast is in the comments! Hooray! I hope Gast didn't miss me praising him for 5 minutes straight. I don't want to have to do that again. Gast, I said you were amazing if you missed it. Yeah, no, Versus is right, Gast. But yeah, so... but that was another awkward one because the venue of the battle was a movie theatre before a movie was going to be shown. So I think a bit awkward. So it wasn't exactly the prime situation to be presenting Jazz. But then I did see her against Biz, and I thought she looked great. I thought she sounded amazing. I thought she gave a really good account of herself there. It was a good backwards and forwards between Biz. And yeah, so as far as that though, the combination of Gemini versus Koj, that could be interesting because I don't know. And again, I'm sure you are, Gus. The James Brown of UK Battle Rap. I'm telling you right now, Gus is the one, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not subscribed to Gus Buff, go and subscribe to Gus Buff. He's doing some wonderful things. He's doing some amazing things. You really need to go and watch him. The fact that he's wasting his time on my stream as well, I take as a massive compliment. But anyways, back to the point. I don't know if I've ever seen Gemini in a 2-on-2. If he has been in a 2-on-2, interesting stuff. But here's the thing that's interesting about that setup. I don't think people realize 2-on-2s are a different animal from singles. 2-on-2 is much more theatrical because the way that you feed and take the reins from your partner can make all the difference, even if your material's a little lax. Like I've seen, like Quill and Soul, right, 2 battlers that were, again, absolute fucking masters of their crafts against Shuffle and Marlowe in a compliments battle, mind you. Even they, as good as they are individually, don't have the synergy of a Shuffle T and Marlowe. It's the main reason why Shuffle T and Marlowe are the best bar none, is that their synergy is such that you buy them as a duo, and when they perform, you can't imagine another person finishing that bar. You can't imagine them feeding off another person as well. In fact, I think you'd see it if Shuffle or Marlowe teamed with anybody else. I just don't think that the dynamic would be there. Bobby held me up earlier. I could feel the intellectual tugging at my collar to say, "What the fuck are you saying? You're saying there's another 2-on-2 that's better than mine." And you go, "I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to say it was a good battle. I didn't want to say yours was worse than anyone else's." But the thing with it is Bobby and Raptor had great rounds. And the comedic timing of Bobby, I thought, in that one was really good. Because Bobby kind of played that more comedic style. Like, "Yes, Raptor!" And everyone just going like, "What is Bobby doing?" Like, he was really, really funny in that one. But in the context of this card, I don't know how it's going to play. It could be amazing. We're about to see something where it's like Gem and Koj are really vibing off of each other. But I don't know. I've only ever seen both of them as singles. But what I will say is that I hope, and I mean this with all sincerity now, I hope this card sticks the landing. Again, my problems this year stem from its predecessor, Plug4, and my opinions about some of the things that surrounded that. For all that I've said, I really hope they stick the landing with this one, because I know that event kicked the shit out of Prem's finances, and I'd really love them to make a killing on this one. So with that in mind, I know that they haven't yet sold out. So I wanted to take a second to make sure you have the information right here. It's available on PremierBattles or PremierBattle.org or .club. Sorry, PremierBattle.club. They still have tickets. I think they're going off at the moment about £27, £27.50. So, and that's pretty good considering that there'll be 50 on the door. So, listen, man, it's a good card. I want people to go because I'd love people to tell me how it fucking goes. And I really love to hear people's takes on like who did well, who did great, who weren't you happy with, who were you happy with, stories behind the scenes, stories from the event. What was the event like? What was the venue like? I want to hear all about it. But first, you got to buy tickets. And Rumnitty's going to be making his debut. So there you go. There's plenty to be excited about on the card itself. For me personally, I can't wait to see Frankie. I can't wait to see Lazy versus Black T. I can't wait to see what Dojo gets up to. But for me, the battle I'm most excited about is Viz versus Bobby Rex. I can't wait to see that, hopefully, when it drops, if it drops down the line. So, because I don't want to be accused of being a Prem apologist, even though I don't think anyone can make that fucking thing, the only thing that Don't Flop have got coming up at the moment that I can opine on that I'm aware of is a comedy night. They've got that going off on the 31st of October for free at the Castle in London. Now, I don't know a lot about a lot of the performers on this card. I've seen Lefties on it, and I've seen Coopers on it. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because what I wanted to ask people is kind of an extension of what I was talking about with my polls this week. Are people happy with the way Prem do their stuff and Don't Flop do their thing simultaneously? The reason I ask that is not to criticize. I'm genuinely curious. I was speaking to someone this week, and someone put the case to me that Prem are good at doing this, while Don't Flop are good at doing this. And they both do them at the same time, and that covers all the bases. And here's where I took that under advisement, because I figured everyone should be doing what the most successful thing is. Whereas this person alerted me to the possibility that because of the niche way of battle rap, maybe it doesn't suit it to be homogenized. And that was a really interesting point. I hadn't really considered that. And so the fact that Don't Flop are doing things like a comedy night, where, as you can see, there'll be a rap battle, there'll be roast battles, there'll be comedy, and it'll be hosted by her and another guy. I don't know who Bilal Rashid is. They're obviously trying to put together content that's not battle rap related, but still hones back to it. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you like that? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, what do you think? I'm curious to see. I am conscious that I'm missing some comments, albeit I've just seen that they're from Hylas. Hylas, thank you very much. With the hottest of takes, Hylas. Let's read them, shall we? Hylas says, I remember its opening night in the cinema in Manchester I worked in, and the 2 live battles played before the movie on the big screen was Shuffle and Jazz, and Gem was battling. Cool. Gem versus Cortez. I was a new battle rap fan. It was very cool. There you go. So Hylas was there on the night. Do you know what? I remember when I saw that battle, I was coming home from the night job I was doing at the time. I'll never forget, because I rode a motorcycle at the time. I used to have to get it through the back garden and then fucking bub it. And I had the battle on in my ears, and it was one of those ones where I was like, do you know what? I'm going to pause it, because this sounds really funny. I want to watch it rather than just listen to it. And I remember having it like in the corner of my studio. I used to have an art studio. I used to paint. And I had it on there to watch it while I was working. And it was one of those ones. So I remember that one really clearly as well. So that's cool, Hylas. And then Gem versus Yunnan should be happening on Don't Flop before the end of the year, ? Not sure when. If Yunnan wins, that he'll be a 2-time champ. Yes, he will. It depends. With the Don't Flop, that's just for the Don't Flop title, though, presumably. That wouldn't be for Prem's title, unless Prem agree Yunnan can compete for their title again. I don't know. That'd be interesting. But if that's a question, I don't know the answer to that, because obviously you've seen now the comedy night. Be sure, if you want, to go and get your tickets. They're free. And it is happening next week on Thursday. But moving on, I went onto Don't Flop's website, and I noticed that the only 2 events they've got left that are on their website this year are the comedy special, the Halloween special, and the 16th birthday. Now, as you can see, that's all the information they've got on the website, except for when you go into it here. We are only... 3 weeks away, and nothing's been announced for it. I don't know. I feel like something should have been announced by now to justify the card. Unless it's been cancelled, they just haven't updated the website. I mean, does anyone know about that? Does anyone know why they've not? Is that a common Don't Flop thing to leave it 3 weeks before an event to not announce anything? I don't know. I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, it could very well be the 16th birthday is when it happens and maybe that's why they've not announced anything yet. Although Gem's dance card is pretty full at the moment, is it not? Tea. Bizzo would be proud. I left my cafetiere at work, so I have to make do with tea. Anyways, 16th birthday. Yeah, maybe that's when they book it. I'd be interested to hear from anyone that has anything in the know about whether or not they're being pursued for that card. Because again, I don't know about anyone else. I like to have a month in advance for an event because I can then budget for things like travel, not necessarily accommodation, but like where I'm going to get a drink and something to eat, where I can park my car. Anything less than that, it becomes trickier because I haven't budgeted for it, or I haven't budgeted a weekend for it. You know, I'm a dad, so I've got kids to think about. So yeah, it's a weird one that they've left it kind of blank. Again, I'm trying to be as honest as I can be with this, but also as fair as I can, because I don't know what the situation is with Don't Flop's structure right now. I'm hearing from some people that it's a one-man band kind of situation. Not that it's just one person running everything, but it sounds like they're thin on the ground. But it just, for me at least, I would have thought, considering, again, if you go to PremierBattles, who I make those comparisons because in my mind, those two are as close together as they possibly can be in terms of, but they're the two closest competitors to each other. Prem make every effort to make sure every card is announced with good time in advance, with enough to get you to buy at that point. They do hold a little bit in the tank to maybe tantalize you into buying something down the road. You know, with the promise that, oh, by the way, we've still got a big slot left on this one. Who could it be? Get your ticket now before everyone finds out. Like, Don't Flop haven't announced anything. And it's just interesting to me. I'd love to hear from people that maybe have an intake on, like, why that's done, if it's on purpose. It's disappointing to me as a fan. I'd want more reason to get excited for an event 3 weeks out. So I want to make sure I cover it. I'd love to talk more about the 16th birthday, but as you can see, there really isn't a lot to talk. And it's not just me. I combed through the Don't Flop Twitter page and their Facebook page. Couldn't really find anything. So coming back to the comments then. Yeah, it's definitely not for Prem. Yep, that makes sense. And it might be, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But it's interesting times for the Prem and the Don't Flop title. Yeah, 3 weeks is not. I'm sure if it comes out in the wash that they've been holding something in the tank and they're trying to push up demand, if it sells out, it worked. If it didn't sell out, I mean, maybe they should review that. But we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I don't want to dunk on anybody. I'm not trying to be critical in the sense of trying to kick a person while they're down. I just saw that last week and I thought, well, I'll cover it on the news because, you know, maybe I can get people to be aware that there's a 16th birthday event coming, because I didn't know, but I was nosing around the website. So you go, okay, it's now a week down the line, basically, and we're still at this stage with 3 weeks to go. So be interested to hear what happens with that. Anyways, let's move on, shall we? The Gulag. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one, idiot. Sorry, I got the wrong one. There it is. Vol.4 of the Gulag. Gemini is going to be taking on Danny Myers, and the rest of that card looks kind of interesting as well. Interested to see what people think about this one as well, considering, again, Gem's featuring on it, and more to the point, I want to hear what people think about Gem's year. I don't know if people really, again, considering the landscape of UK Battle Rap, Prem and Don't Flop have one champion. And it's Gem. How fucking cool is that? Like, that's... If Don't Flop had a belt, he'd be standing there with 2 belts right now. He's only got the one from Prem. Pardon me. But he's the fucking undisputed UK Battle Rap champion. How fucking cool is that? Like, And I thought he had a really... If you haven't seen it already, by the way, I reacted to the battle. And I hadn't seen it before I reacted to it. Normally, I like to watch a battle before I react to it so I can have more to say than, oh, that was crazy. But I wanted to give my honest opinion on it because, I'll be honest, it was my dream battle to see Prem and Don't Flop kind of put it on the line. Now, it wasn't really... I understand it kind of wasn't because it wasn't a Don't Flop versus Prem event. It was Gem, Biz. Gem's been on Prem before. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was... I gave the first to Biz because I think he genuinely got slept on in that round. But it is hard to deny that Gem was fucking insane in those second and third rounds. Thoroughly deserved to win it. And now that he's kind of going to be taking the titles around, like they've marketed him here as the 2-time UK Battle Rap champ. I think that, again, I want to hear words like undisputed. I want to hear words like first time ever. Like, I want to see something like that. Something that really hammers home the significance of his achievement within Battle Rap, because literally no one's ever done that before. And that's kind of insane to me that more people aren't making a bigger deal of that particular fact, especially considering how highly regarded Gem is held. Like, it's not like anyone's having it against him that he's the champ. I want to see more of that. But anyway, what about you guys? What do you think about this card? Are you excited for the Gulag? It says here, if I am not to be mistaken, you can buy tickets at eventbrite.com, and there's also a £10 charge for the pay-per-view. I'd be interested to try and check out one of these pay-per-views, and I will try and get the Patreon for Prem in November. Probably mid-November time is when I'll start to look to get the Patreon. It's been lean times, baby. I've been unemployed for 3 weeks, so yeah, I had to cut expenses like food. But anyways, point being, I'd be excited to see this when it drops, because I'll be interested to see how Gem... I've seen Gem pretty extensively now. I watched a lot of his battles leading up to the interview last year at Christmas, which is a weird thing to think about. Like, I interviewed Gemini at Christmas when he'd just become the champ. And now, nearly a year later, he's now the double champ. Cool. I'd be interested to see how he tethers his style here. So, are you excited for the Gulag? If so, let me know why. And then the final card I wanted to talk about is Undisclosed 13. Now, the first thing I just want to talk about on this, because it was covered, and, okay, I'm not saying battle rap promoters have a needlessly aggressive attitude when it comes to their fans. I will say that I saw an interaction with them with a fan about this poster that made me go, chill your beans for a second, lads. And I see it from both sides. One guy said you should put Raptor and Sean on the poster. Prem said they were. Now, I understand what the fan was saying there from the perspective of, if you look at the actual poster, you read it as Undisclosed 13, The Pit, Bobby Rex versus Gasbuff, Kinsley Thunder, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The Raptor Wars and Sean is almost... the way it's formatted, it doesn't draw your attention to it. And so I get it, but I also get it from Prem's perspective, which is just... we just spend more than 3 seconds looking at the poster. So, like, but that's the thing, is sometimes it can be needlessly adversarial when fans are just saying, hey, I just didn't read it that well. It doesn't read naturally to me. And Prem saying, well, guys, we're trying to do something different. We're trying to present it differently. So this is why I think sometimes Twitter is not a good place for battle rap discourse in particular. It's great for promotion, but whenever people are trying to get a point across, it's very easy for people to argue past each other. But the card itself, holy fucking shit, guys. I'll be honest, and I might get some heat for this. I am way more excited about this than I am Plug5. This card looks like it's got some fucking meat on this. But like, I am... forget for the second that Bobby Rex is trying to make a run for Battler of the Year, considering just the sheer amount of battles he's trying to get through the door. There's actually some really cool concepts on this one. I mean, look, it's in Manchester, so it's a 3.5 hour, 4 hour journey. But my experience in Manchester for match day 5 was, infinitely more easy to manage than either of my London events that I attended because of the fact I could just drive. Whereas London, even if I parked next to the event. One of the most stressful commutes of my entire fucking life. And I used to work in London. So the fact that it's in Manchester, instant tick for me. Raptor's back. That's fucking cool. And considering like there was talk that, again, the last time that he was basically done, I think that was against Koj, that he was basically done. Sean Craig getting that battle to, I love, because Sean is another one of those guys that, look, he's been around. He's been around for a while. He's a name people know. But needs that name, even if it's a loss, even if it's just a tight decision, but needs those names now to start getting his profile into the minds of the fans. And that, no, I can see him doing this. I can see him being main event of a card. I love it. I think that's a great battle. And I think Sean, having had a lot of reps now, Raptor coming back to a Sean, it seems to make all the sense in the world. I think that's a great matchup. Bobby Rex versus Gast. And again, I'm sorry. Sorry, Gast. Sorry. Part of me is watching this battle. Part of me with a sick, like, almost like, how terribly is Bobby going to maul Gast? like, I made the joke, and I think it bears repeating. Gast Buff fell asleep and left his boiler on. And now he's going to have a massive electric bill or a gas bill, right? So he figures, they can't bill me if I'm dead. And I'll battle Bobby Rex. And I'll solve both problems. Fucking love Gas just going, fuck it. Give me Bobby Rex. I'm dead anyway. Love it. And it's the thing. I know Gas is going to be coming in looking to have some fun with that battle. I'm really going to look at that as like an evolution of the shotty shuffle dynamic where neither guy was really looking to put the screws to the other guy, but both were kind of, but I am still better than you. I am still like, hey, listen, I like you and we'll have some fun, but don't hit me too hard or I'll hit you back sort of thing. That's the vibe of that battle I get from Bobby and Gast, in that Bobby's going to have he's going to have a lot of momentum and he's going to have a lot of motivation coming into this one. Gast as well, just fighting for his fucking life. And look, he's made those promos now. So he's got to stand in front of Bobby Rex, having made those promos. I'm sold. I think I got to be, assuming I'm, not shot on the door. But, like, I can't wait to see that. Then you've got Kingsley Thunder versus Carlton Shanks. Now, Carlton Shanks, I have to admit, I'm aware of, haven't seen any battles of. But Kingsley Thunder, right? Kingsley Thunder, I've seen 2 or 3 battles of now. And another one of those guys that I think he's got something. A push, a really good showing, a clippable moment. He could be another one of those guys. I think Gast has had a few of those now. Kingsley might be the next guy. Danny Jack versus Grazer. I don't really know much of... I think he was on... Hang on, let me think. He might have been on match day 5. I can't remember. He might have been. I don't remember, though. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I can't remember. And Danny Jack. Danny Jack's always up for a fun time. I think he always comes in looking to have a fun battle. And he's been around for ages and ages and ages, so people have recognised that. But then we get into my one. Again, for me, is Dub versus Sam Hypes. I was really impressed with Dub showing against As He Talks. I did give him all 3 rounds. I thought it's good that he's now starting to show some serious return on the promise that he's been touted as having. I know I talked a big game about him. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do now back to back, because that's the thing now, is you've had a great performance, but you are only as good as your last performance. What can you do? I have a good feeling, though. I have a good feeling about Dub's chances here. But Sam Hypes I need to familiarise myself with, because I want to clue myself into Sam Hypes. I've seen the name. Again, haven't seen too many battles. And then the final 2 battles, don't really know much about many of them, except for the fact that Rick Charles is battling. Hey! The guy takes all the fucking amazing pictures. He's going to battle. I know that's a silly thing, but I'm kind of excited to see him have a go. Because, listen, man, he makes everyone look like fucking superheroes. Like, so many of my thumbnails are only good because Rick Charles takes the fucking best pictures in all of battle rap. So, yeah, I'm excited. And I know, again, I'm sorry if that sounds counterintuitive. I'm not saying that the Plug series isn't good. I'm going to say, though, that I think that the Undisclosed series, they've had some really fucking good cards. Like, if you look back to Undisclosed 10, which is the last one that I covered extensively because Stro was on before it went live, that's an insane card. And I know that there were things that I know that there was an issue with some of the battlers leading up to it. But what a card on paper. Like, and I think it delivered. I don't know anything about 11 or 12. I think those happened while I was having my little paddy. But, like, I look at this card and I think that's a really good card. It's the one I'm more excited about. And it's a more reasonable hour. 12 to 6 o'clock. You know, it allows me to get out of bed at a reasonable hour and go to bed at a reasonable hour. It's great. But anyways, Undisclosed 13. I really love the look of that card. I think that's going to be a fucking great event. But anyways, let me come back to the comments for a second. Hot Take Hylas. Battle of the year between Gem and Yunnan easy. I'm leaning towards Gem. Double Champ has to be number one, surely. If Gem and Yunnan have a battle, you can bank on both of them bringing that old school fucking visceral energy, that I hate you energy that I think lacks from some battles sometimes these days. I feel like sometimes battles have this tendency of being a friendly contest between friends. That's fine. I like the fucking visceral nature of a battle when two guys are really going for each other. As a matter of, and by the way, I'm going to switch back to my big ugly face now because that's all the assets that I have for you. Zen and Marv won's on beat battle that was bumped from the Checkpoint 5 card due to time to I think the next day, but they uploaded that more recently. There's a moment there where Zen says, I think something about Marv's brother, and Marv bit. He's like, Matt, don't talk, don't say it again. Say it. And suddenly the battle has stakes now. Suddenly now you get the impression both are actually trying to win, not because of who's best and all the rest of it. No, I'm beating you because I want to fucking rub your face in this shit. The competitive element that really takes a rivalry or an event or a match or whatever it is to the next level. Put it this way, does anyone care about Conor McGregor versus Khabib if Conor doesn't make it personal on every conceivable level? Does anyone care about Tyson Fury versus anybody unless Tyson Fury is that guy that just says all of the most offensive shit to the other person? We can condemn it, but we know it gives it extra bite. In battle rap, sometimes it feels like it is more of that, okay, right, let's go. Okay, I really don't like you. Well, then say it like you don't like him then. But there's some guys that still get that. Yunnan, as much as people want to hate on him, and as some people want to have issues with some of his whatever, right? The one thing I've never, ever been able to level against Yunnan is a conviction when he's performing. You get this intensity from him when he goes in on someone. Gem is exactly the same. Gem has a slightly laissez-faire attitude, but ultimately has a very, very honed in, focused, visceral energy to him when he gets going. You saw that with Bizzo Bond, actually. His first few bars in his first round were quite leading up to it. And then the glasses came off. And then the attention turns. And he starts honing in on Biz more and more and more. That could be a really great battle. Again, it depends on when it's booked. Because here's the thing with Gem is that his dance card is pretty fucking busy. I don't know how much that takes out of a battler, like battling 3 times in 6 months? Maybe more? I don't know. Battlers of the world, you'd have to tell me how much material, like one battle, like how much it takes out of you. Is it a week? Is it a month? Is it 6 months? I don't know. But I'd want to see it. Because imagine if Gem defends. He goes, I'm still champ. Imagine if he's just, again, he loses the Don't Flop title, but still retains the Prem title. Who did he face at Prem? It still opens up a lot of possibilities. And I think fans appreciate the stakes of that. But that's just me. I'd be interested to see, does the title mean anything to you guys? Do you care? Or what are the stakes you want to see? Like, what are we watching for the next thing? Are we hoping for a battle? Is that what we're hoping for? Are we hoping that things maneuver in terms of booking two guys together? They're on a collision course? Or, like, tell me what would make a card really pop for you. Is it just a name? Shotty announces he's coming back. Luna announces he's coming back. Soul announces he's coming back. Like, tell me. Like, I know what I want. I want story. I want a reason to care about these two. I want to know that these two do not like each other and they're coming into this. I need to beat this guy. It's not just, oh, it will look good. It will say, oh, it'll be a crazy battle. No, I'm coming in and I want to 3-0 this guy. I want to make him look stupid. So then no one can question me. I want that fucking bite. And as much as I sometimes don't always articulate that well, that's why guys like Bobby really excite me as battlers, because you get that feeling that they bring that energy to their battles. Like, man, we're friends before, but during the battle I want to fucking, if no other reason than I saw him battle against Bizzo and it was a scary thing. I was happy being behind Bobby because then I didn't have to deal with that energy being directed towards me, even when he referenced me in the goddamn battle. Still haven't forgiven you for that, Bobby. But anyways, let's go back to the comments. Hadda Shrooms, what a wild lineup. I agree. I think it's a great lineup. I think that's going to be a great... Say what you like, man. Stro is a hell of a booker, and he's a hell of a man manager and a great presence behind the scenes. I absolutely love him. Hyla says he prefers the look of the card as well, but they both look great. Yeah, and look, it's not a bad position to be in for Prem. Listen, man, having two cards back-to-back that look pretty stacked, it's not a bad problem to have, is it? So anyways, that's all of the upcoming events covered. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm still waiting, people. What's on your minds? No one gives a fuck about what I think. No one cares. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what are you excited for? Apart from Hylas. Hylas has really embraced the spirit of this, and I appreciate that. But everybody else, what are you excited for? What is Battle Rap got in store for you that you are excited for? What's annoying you at the moment? What are people not talking about enough? What are people talking too much about? Anything and everything. I want to hear what you think. So while I'm doing that, while you're doing that, sorry, let me bring it back. Getting excited. Actually, let me tell. While you're typing, all of you start typing something that you're really excited about or that you like or want to talk about in Battle Rap. I want to see. There's 8 people watching right now. I want all of you to type something. Anything less than I will simply carry on. Right. The last thing I wanted to talk about today was Pen Game. So, I swear that I knew of Pen Game a while back, and I swear they weren't as big a deal as they are now. They got like 180,000 subscribers from fucking nowhere, and some of their videos are hitting 500,000 views. Now, how the fuck did that happen? I only know one of the battlers that was on it, and that's Black T. And I'm pretty sure I saw Trubs in the background of that battle, so I know that there is an element to it that's kind of relevant to UK Battle Rap as it stands right now. But, like, where the fuck did all that traction come from? I heard it from someone that they got BBC funding, which I suppose... is that really all that... I know I keep banging on about it, but is that really all that needs to happen with Battle Rap? Is it just needs funding from someone that has money? In which case, man, we need to go we need to put on ties and go door to door or some shit, man. Zen versus Zen. I did see a short of Zen, but it was just on Zen. I don't think they cut to his opponent. I didn't know it was Caveman. By the way, Raz Ren in the house. Welcome, sir. I did see. Yeah, it was. You're a predator. If you're an alien. If I'm an alien, you're a predator. Because he was talking about the guy being. You write poems for kids. You're a pedophile. Okay. Seemed to be the flavour of the year, just going out and randomly calling people pedophile. It's just the hot new craze for rappers just to go, hey, my opponent's a pedophile. Spread the word. Got any evidence? Nah, just spread the word. It's funny. Just call it that. But anyways, my point being is if you look at them, man, they have really got some traction going. I think it's something stupid like, let me pull it up. Hang on. I just didn't make an asset out of it. So where is it? There it is. Oh, if it loads. Yeah, so I might even be able to show you this. Hang on. Let me put it back and then... Yeah, there you go. That'll do. So if we zoom in here. So they have got 185,000 subscribers from 685 videos, which is about as many videos as I've produced, by the way, in a little over a year and a half. So I think part of this, by the way, is they don't have many published videos. They go live a lot from what I can see, which probably doesn't hurt, because my understanding of the YouTube algorithm at the moment is very much that going live and having literal live audience retention is more valuable to YouTube right now than views, unless it's on shorts. If it's on shorts, you can be sure that YouTube is going to push you. If you're just posting videos, the algorithm only favors you if you have a video that they can then suggest to you on the back end that is as insanely popular as anything else on YouTube, rather than that is just popular within that realm. So a good example of that would be Don't Flop. Don't Flop's videos always suggest things like Mark Grist versus Blizz, Shotty versus Arsenal, Shotty versus Tony, any Lunacy battle, you know, that sort of stuff, which is fine, except for those battles are 10 years old. Like, really what needs to happen is YouTube needs to be suggesting the new battles, the most recent events, so people can catch up on them if they've missed them, share them with people to say, hey, listen, this is the kind of thing you can watch if you go to the new event. And YouTube is not playing ball with that, whereas Pen Games seem to be circumnavigating that by going live and going heavy with the shorts. Because if I go back to my thing there, and it loads, there we go. So they have got 48 million views since 2020. Yeah, there's no... I don't think there's any other channel that can boast that. I'd have to go on to Don't Flop and PremierBattles to confirm that, but that's pretty fucking insane, all things considered. And yeah, I really would love to know how the fuck they went and did that, because I've sampled one of their battles, and yeah, it was okay. I thought it was all right. Clearly, they've put a lot of emphasis into the presentation of it. The editing is very heavy, and the mixing of it is very heavy, in the sense of they've clearly put a lot of time into it. I don't know if I love it, though, because it's the nature of it. It's on beat, so you don't have the same scope to really thread a scheme in the same way that you do in battle rap. Which, final point, someone this week made the point to me that maybe UKBR has become too sophisticated. Like, the writing is almost too good. I love that, though. I'm a massive fan of when I catch something and I go, holy shit, that was clever. That was really fucking good. But do you think they have a point? Is battle rap sometimes too sophisticated for it? Are the writers trying to be too clever? I don't know. That's a good question, but I'd be interested to hear if people concur with that, or if, because I don't know. Not that I'm saying that it doesn't have a place, but considering that Pen Game clearly, if they really do have the funding from the BBC, which is going to be astronomical, but this format of slightly more simplistic and casual audience-oriented content, is it worth Don't Flop, No Loose Chat, Members, any of the league looking at... is it worth looking at adapting their content or their existing content or their future content into trying to capture more of that live? or shorts-based audience. Question is, do they have the manpower? Do they have the resources to be able to do that? I don't know. It's a question for another time, and it's one that I'd love to put to Prem and Don't Flop and Membars and No Loose Chat when I can on camera. Behind the scenes, I can have these conversations all the time, and it's not a big deal. I'd love to have it on camera, though. But that's... we'll see. Maybe, if not. Now, I think I've covered everything. I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. So, I am going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes where I'm going to twiddle my thumbs and let you talk about what you want to talk about. Questions, queries, anything I've said. You want to call me a piece of shit? I don't care what it is. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Talk amongst yourselves. I'm being dead serious. Comment. I've talked solidly for an hour. I want to hear from you. I appreciate the compliment. However, come on! Like, battle rap fans and battle rappers are some of the most opinionated people in the planet. Y'all gotta have something on your minds. There's always something on your minds. It's a good battle you've seen recently. A card you're excited about. Did you see a cat today that looked really strokeable? I don't know. What's on your minds? Come on, hit me up. Let me know in the comments section. Hot take Hylas. What's your hottest take right now? Where was the other one? Oh, How to Shrooms. If that's a wild lineup, what's the wildest lineup that Prem, Don't Flop, Members, No Loose Chat, pick you, anybody can build? Right? Come on, give me your fantasy cards. Give me some. Come on. What's your favorite promo? What's your favorite gas buff promo? Come on. What do you want to see covered on the news? I still haven't finished the news. I've still got to write it and edit it and upload it. What do you want to see on the news this week? What should I cover? What have I missed? I've been tagging tweets and copying images and things like that. I'm going to have to fucking cram it down into 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's why I had to speed up the audio last week, because it went for 2 minutes and 35. I had to knock off 15 seconds without cutting anything. The joys of modern day content creation. All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Come on, get your questions in. Get your thoughts, opinions. I want to hear. Come on. I want to talk about one last thing. I just don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I should. I don't want to upset anybody. It's really dark outside tonight, isn't it? Let's have a look. So, How to Shrooms. What do you think of Cassidy no-show? Don't know. Let's have a look. What did Cassidy no-show? See, this is where having the I will say this because hopefully this helps this type of content. So, what I will do at some point is I will have a page set up on this. So this here, I will have a page set up where I can have callers. You can call in. What I'll do is I'll set up a meeting request within Zoom, send the link out to people that DM me for it, and if you want, you can appear on the show. You can be here with me, and you can speak your piece, you can ask questions, you can make your statements. You'll be on the show for a few moments. I'll then kick you off, and then we'll welcome the next person in, whoever wants to come in. Because, again, I really love the concept of having the fans on the show. I will have more battlers on as we go. I promise you this. Once they're available and once they feel comfortable appearing, when they have something to talk about, when they want to have something to talk about. But I really want to have more interaction with the fans so that we have a place that everyone knows, right, if you are a fan of UK Battle Rap and you want to have your say, you come here. I want to be that host. I want to be that conduit. And part of that is making sure that people have the way that they want to talk. So in this case, it would be helpful because I don't know of the KOTD no-show. I've been exclusively focused on UK Battle Rap, and what I will probably do is I need a guide into US and more international battle rap. I feel like there's a lot going on in America and in Canada. There's a lot going on in Europe too. Probably too much for me to process solo. So it's one of those things where I had to be introduced into battle rap. So in the same way, I'd probably have to be introduced into US, Canada, etc. battle rap. So at this point in time, Hadashrooms, while I love the fact that you actually asked a question, the other three of you should be ashamed of yourselves. I can't give you an answer because I don't know anything about it. I will give you another 60 seconds. Questions, queries, anything you want to ask before I go about my business. What are we saying? Come on now. I haven't seen the Prem live stream from the other day either. What did you think of that? Did you think it was helpful? Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Did you have good interactions? Did they show any porn? Like, come on. See, by the way? Oh, I can't. Can I show it like that, maybe? I don't know. There you go. Right, we show down. It says... Oh, you can't read it. It says tasks, 7 o'clock. Battle Rap News. Every day I've got a reminder that I've got to sit down and write some news about battle rap. So there you go. Anyways, you had your 60 seconds. That's it. I'm done. I'm calling it. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you very, very much for joining me on this stream. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate everyone that commented. Let's rattle through those very, very quickly. We had Gast Buff was on the stream. Thank you, Gast. Hot Take Hylas was hot stepping with his hot takes as always. Thank you very much for joining me, Hylas. We've got Hadashrooms with 2 comments, one of which was great. The other one I couldn't answer. My bad. 3 comments, technically speaking. And then Razren poked his head through the door as well. Raz, appreciate you as always. Very, very nice of you. I think we'll call it there, ladies and gentlemen. So I think I've previewed everything coming up in UKBR of note over the next 2 months. So be sure to go ahead and follow the... I'll try and pop the links in the description of this video, actually, while I go and edit this in a moment. So that you've got links to any of them if you want to go and check them out. If you want to just click on it, get a ticket, I'll post those down there below for you. But in the meantime, though, please, by all means, like, share, subscribe, share it around. If you like this idea and you want to participate, by all means, tune in next week. I'll try and do something on the same sort of day, midweek. Catch up with the fans. What are you saying? What do you like? What you don't like? We move from there. And yeah, I'll be ready with some news in 2 days on Friday evening for you. So, in the meantime, I sincerely hope you're all taking care of yourselves. I hope you're well this week, keeping well, staying well, being as well as you can be. Thank you again for joining me. This one's been a fun one. I kind of want to do this every single week. So, I hope I can count on seeing you next week. So, in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Halcyon Show.